From far and wide, Oilers fans, this is Dolynny TV.
And welcome back to another Edmonton Oilers discussion. Today, guys, of course, you've already seen the discussion about Cam Talbot and kind of the controversy that maybe he's creating himself by being a little bit excellent finally for us. With that, I'm Tyson Dolynny, host of Dolynny TV. This is, of course, the kind of review for the third mark of the season, right? We're a third of the way through the season, give or take, depending on how you want to look at it. 29 games out of 87, so technically maybe knock it back a whole whopping set of games to the game ago. But given the Minnesota game, I thought it was a good time to go and check out kind of where this Edmonton Oilers team is at a third of the way home to the Stanley Cup playoffs at this point. So let's go get to my points right quickly here. And the standings are very, very interesting. We've got the game against Calgary tomorrow, which could make very interesting notes for us should we get the W in regulation against Calgary. However, right now, on the pace of points the Oilers are on pace for 90 to 91 points this year. Unfortunately, in the Western Conference this year, that is not a playoff team. You got to be looking at about probably 95, 96, I'd imagine, if you want to be secure in that first wild card spot, and if you want to lock up with a week to go as well. So essentially what I'm saying is the Oilers need a way, even on the current pace, to find an extra 3 wins. And I mean games like Minnesota, when you expect, well, Cam Talbot had a decent game against St. Louis, is that going to continue? And then he comes in and absolutely lights it up. That is huge, right? So that is kind of where I'm going to begin. The next point is it is as simple as this. For the Oilers to steal points down the stretch, I talked about it earlier today, I will talk about it again. It is as simple as this. It is the goaltending. The goaltending has been positive, negative, and friggin' everything in between since the start of the year. What was that? Way back October 6th, I believe. That seems like a crazy, crazy long time ago. However, Cam Talbot, Mikko Koskinen, they both had good games. Mikko's had a lot less bad games, let's be honest. But now the goaltending seems to be another question mark once again after Cam Talbot puts up back-to-back strong performances. But like I said earlier in today's video, you just have to look at it this way. Don't look at that Cam Talbot's going to carry the Oilers to the playoffs like he did in 16-17. Don't look at it like Mikko Koskinen's probably going to be the starter and carry us to glory and play 60 games this year either. I'm looking at it about a 50-30 split, 40-40 split. However you want to look at it, that's kind of the numbers I'm working with for the Oilers goaltending situation as it stands given right now. Now, of course, I might be jumping the gun saying Cam Talbot's back to being decent given he's only played 2 games and done what he has. But you know what? I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what? I'll do it. We haven't traded him to this point. I might as well. So goaltending, like I said, positive, negative, and everything in between. Hopefully it stays more positive than everything in between or negative, and we continue on going as the Oilers have. The big note factor that I have to tell you, I don't think I have to tell you, 6-2-1 under Ken Hitchcock since he became our head coach after the Vegas game, in which we were absolutely pummeled following a disastrous game against Calgary. So 9 games for Ken Hitchcock as head coach. That is roughly about a third. So about a third for Ken Hitchcock of this season has been him behind the bench for the Oilers. And you know what? 6-2-1, you want to talk about an 82 game pace. I'd do the math for you, but I'm stupid. I know you guys aren't as stupid. I know you guys can do that math. That is a goddamn playoff team right there. So it's as simple as that, right? Ken Hitchcock has the Oilers playing good hockey. And should that continue, we should make the playoffs no problem. But like I said, on the current pace, we need to find 2 to 3 more victories to steal away from opponents. Personally, I'd like to steal Pacific Division and Eastern Conference games. However, you don't get to choose in hockey as the fan. You just hope your team performs, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Sorry, fighting a little bit of sickness still, guys. It's been a brutal week at work, actually, trying to survive. Let's get to the next point. Connor McDavid, yes, he did miss that game the other night. However, McDavid is on pace for 115 points this year. Do I need to tell you that again? I'm a little stupefied by that. Connor McDavid, 115 points. You know what? That is great for him. Absolutely massive. 100% Connor McDavid at 115 points for the Oilers. Another Hart Trophy candidate. I mean, the trophies and stuff alone. But that carries us to where we need to go, right? All of a sudden, you've got Draisaitl getting points on the power play. You got Nuge getting points on the power play. Clefbaum getting... Everybody starts producing when McDavid is producing and sharing with everybody else. That's huge. McDavid is getting there to that captain level where he knows when to elevate his game for himself and when to elevate his game for his team. And that is absolutely massive out of a captain that young. So Connor McDavid, keep going. Pace on for 115 and go cruise to the 115 mark in 82, 81 games. You know who else is on pace for something? Reviewing things. So like I said, this is kind of a review. We're reviewing things and seeing where we sit, right? Right now, Alex Chiasson is on pace for 40 goals. Does that continue? I don't know. But I've seen people trying to figure out what is Alex Chiasson to the Edmonton Oilers. I've heard Mark Letestu of a couple years ago. I've heard Patrick Maroon. Now, honestly, for me, Mark Letestu, you know what? He had that great season. But I think that's where Kyle Brodziak was supposed to come in and do that job. And unfortunately, not so far has he done it. But with the identity line getting that goal, I'll save that for another minute, actually, and we'll get back to Chiasson. Chiasson as a Patrick Maroon figure, power play sniper. He's a great player with McDavid and Draisaitl. I mean, you know what? He's probably not the 100% A++ player that we could have up there with him. But he's getting the job done, hasn't looked out of place, has earned his right. Yes, not as many 5-on-5 points as we expected, but you know what? The power play points continued. And that's usually what happens with players that play with McDavid. They get thrown up there with McDavid, either 5-on-5's clicking and not the power play, or just the power play and not 5-on-5. Chiasson's been about a 60-40 mix, and that's huge. That's good for him. If he can keep that pace with McDavid, 100%, he is going to be all right. So now, kind of what are we looking at, right? What are we looking at as guys that are emerging for this team? You're to the third mark of the season. Where are these guys coming out of the woodwork? Who's coming on? Who's doing the job that we didn't exactly expect they'd do as well, perhaps, as they have? And honestly, it's pretty simple to look at who's coming out of the woodwork. Jujhar Khaira, I mean, he's been on the fourth line 95% of this season, and all of a sudden, he gets put up there with Nuge and Puljujarvi. Puljujarvi hasn't had points, but I mean, Nuge and friggin' Jujhar Khaira coming together and just grinding out points. And you got to think about what else, right? The impact he was having to get put on there after the Caggiula injury. Like, come on, it is huge to see Jujhar Khaira elevating his game as a second-line player right now while Drake Caggiula is injured. And who knows, if this continues, maybe Drake Caggiula is the guy going down to the fourth line. Well, that kind of breaks our versatility down there. However, Ryan Spooner looking well on the center role. So flip-flop, hang on. Ken Hitchcock's lineup, like I said, we're not going to see it until Andrej Sekera is in the lineup in January. That's when we'll see what Ken Hitchcock's lineup really looks like. But right now, a guy emerging that we have to keep our eyes on going forward is Jujhar Khaira, JJ. Hey. All right. So what else I got? I got list after list of points here, guys. This is good. I am ready to rip about the Oilers right now. Ken Hitchcock, let's go back to him for a minute. New systems he brought in. I think realistically the only system I like that Ken Hitchcock brought in terms of one that you can see every second of the game is defensive responsibility. I don't know what the term for it is in real hockey. I don't know what coach speak is. I've been around junior B hockey coaches. They're great and all, but they like to keep to themselves when they're out there, especially when you're a double agent per se. So hold with me on that I'm hoping that there's a name for that system, and all I'm calling it is defensive responsibility, because, guys, it has been absolutely beautiful to see what Ken Hitchcock has done with the Edmonton Oilers defensive game. Like, the goals against per game, woo, right to the floor for Ken Hitchcock's Oilers, and that is absolutely glorious to see. It's like, hey, we knew this team was capable of this. Why weren't we doing it? And now, all of a sudden, under Ken Hitchcock, here we are doing it, and here Oilers fans are raving about it like me. So you got to think, the systems are slowly getting ingrained. We're only 9 games in. Wait until this team hits the 50-60 game mark and see how explosive the offense is now that they've figured out how to transition from Ken Hitchcock's defense to the Oilers offense we know, right? You got to believe it. You got to believe it is only going to keep getting better from here. And guys, like I said, it's all about playing that offense and playing the defense. And a line that does that better than any other has to be the identity line. You know what? Yes, at times they look out of place and they look, you know what? I will not say there isn't good criticism of that line, but 100%. After Zach Kassian got that goal, Milan Lucic got an assist last night. You better believe it is time and it is needed that the identity line pops right now, right here, goes on a 5 or 6 game streak where they all get at least a point a game or something stupid, and you got to think, all of a sudden, what happens? What happens then? Does Zach Kassian get back on the second power play unit? Does Zach Kassian in overtime or right before the end of regulation go down the ice like he did against San Jose and score a clutch goal, and we're all like, holy crap, Zach Attack is back? You better believe that's exactly what I'm betting on with this identity line. It is about to happen. It's been a long time running under Ken Hitchcock, now 9 games, but the guys finally got it going last night against Minnesota, and it is time. It is damn well time these guys go off, be that third line producer for a while, and we will be gold. Guys, anyways, I am done my rant. That is it. That is all for today's episode. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I will catch you guys in the next one.